similes in our writing. Let's look at the definition of a simile. A simile is a comparison between two things using the word like or as. An example of a simile is, she was like a rose. In this example, a girl is being compared to a rose. This example used the word like to compare the two things. Similes are a type of imagery. Using similes creates a clear image for the reader. Some of the more common similes are actually what we call clichés. A cliché is something that has been overused to the point of losing its meaning or effect. As fast as a cheetah, and as fast as a bullet, or as fast as lightning, are all clichés to suggest that something is speedy. As tall as a giraffe, or as tall as a mountain, are clichés that create an image of something that is high up or tall. As hot as the sun, and as cold as ice, are also clichés because they have been so overused. It's not particularly imaginative or creative to compare something hot to the sun or something cold to ice. Remember, when you are aiming higher, you should try not to use clichés. You should try to think of an original, creative simile. There are ways that you can improve similes that are clichés. You can improve clichés by adding further description. Here, the cliché, as fast as a bullet, has been improved by the additional clause, whistling through the air. The added description evokes the sound of the whistling bullet, bringing the image alive for the reader through the added sensory description. Again, this cliché, as tall as a mountain, has been improved by adding further description. The cliched phrase, as tall as a mountain, has been improved by adding the clause, towering above the clouds, which adds to the visual image of a mountain, helping the reader to visualize how vast and tall this mountain is, and therefore how tall the person being compared to it is. Using similes in your writing will help to create vivid imagery for your reader. You should choose your comparison carefully, as it will create a specific mood and impression. So let's start with this image of a cat. The simile that we choose to describe this cat will determine the reader's impression of it. We could describe the cat using this simile. A cat, as deep and pure black as midnight, silently crossed my path. This comparison of the cat's black fur to midnight creates imagery of darkness and nighttime, which might suggest the cat is mysterious or magical. This simile draws out the sense of sight. However, don't just use similes to describe what you can see. Use similes to describe any of the 5 senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. We could describe the cat using this simile. The cat brushed against my leg. Its fur was as soft and cuddly as velvet. This simile draws out the sense of touch. The comparison of the cat's fur to velvet helps the reader imagine that it is soft. This makes us think that it might be a friendly and approachable cat. We could describe the cat using the simile, the cat purred loudly, like a tractor engine roaring into life. This simile draws out the sense of sound. The comparison of the noise to a tractor helps the reader to understand just how loud the cat's purring is. Obviously, you don't just have to use similes to describe the 5 senses. For example, you can also use similes to describe actions. We could describe the cat using this simile. Suddenly, the cat uncoiled smoothly, like a snake rising to strike. The comparison to a snake might suggest the cat is angry, intimidating, and threatening. Don't forget that you can use similes in non-fiction texts and writing. This is an example of a persuasive speech. The writer has written the speech on the subject of banning homework. The title is, Let's Ban Homework. Everyone knows that homework is bad for children. We need to let them discover their interests, not trap them with useless work. It is like putting a dog in a cage all day long. It's cruel. We need to let children be free. This simile compares giving children homework to putting a dog in a cage for a whole day. This comparison makes the author's message, that homework is cruel, clear and persuasive. You can use similes in non-fiction texts, such as persuasive writing or writing to argue. In these kind of texts, similes can help make our writing clear and persuasive. In summary, a simile is a comparison between two things, using either the word like or as. Add descriptive adjectives to your similes to help create vivid images for your reader. Remember that similes are a type of imagery. It can be useful to use them to describe all 5 of the senses: sight, sound, smell, touch, and taste. But don't forget that we also looked at an example of similes describing actions. When you use similes in your writing, try to avoid clichés and aim for original, imaginative, and creative similes. When writing the word simile, be careful of your spelling. A common misspelling is S-M-I-L-E, smile. Simile is spelled S-I-M-I-L-E, and it is this first I that often gets missed out. Finally, remember to use similes in your writing, but think carefully about the effect, mood, or atmosphere that you wish to create.